Well done or wasted, living for the master's reward. St. Matthew 25 verse 21 says, His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. Welcome to Life is a Test. This is Exploring the Parables of Jesus, Part 80. Imagine a young woman who quietly goes to work and does her job. She is not flashy or loud, and she doesn't post about her work or her accomplishments online. She arrives to work on time, works hard, and treats others with respect and kindness. While others who gossip gets promoted, she stays steady, trusting that her efforts are seen not just by people but by God. Then one day, after years of quiet dedication, her manager calls her into the office and says, We have noticed your consistency, integrity, and attitude, and you are exactly the kind of leader we need. Right there, she's given a promotion she never asked for. The scenario reflects the heart of Christ's parable of the talents in Matthew 25. And the question is, what do we seek? Heaven's approval or the praise of people? We live in societies that are driven by instant gratification, public recognition, and social media validation. Success is often measured by what can be seen, such as the likes, the promotions, and the applause. But while society celebrates the spectacular, God honors the consistent. Paul reminds us in Galatians 1 and verse 10 that our aim is not to please people, but to please the Lord. Therefore, the true goal of life is not to gain the world's approval, but to earn heaven's applause and to hear the words, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. These words require a transformation in how we think and act. Rather than asking, what will people think? We must ask, what will God say? Our reward is not in being famous, but in being faithful. Many times when you hear the word faithfulness, we overlook its true power and significance, which teaches us that being faithful in small, seemingly insignificant tasks prepares us for greater responsibilities. In the parable, the servant's reward for faithfulness was not rest or retirement, but a promotion. The master did not say, Now you can relax, but instead, I will make thee ruler over many things. Throughout Scripture, we are shown that God observes how we handle little things before granting larger assignments. First, there is faithfulness, then promotion, and finally joy. David's courage was tested while tending sheep and defending them from lions and bears long before he stood before Goliath or led a nation. Ruth remained loyal in the fields of Boaz before becoming part of the lineage of Christ. Even Jesus himself spent 30 years in quiet obedience before beginning his public ministry. The disciples learned to follow Jesus in everyday moments, serving, listening, and walking with him before they were sent to preach to nations and perform miracles. In the same way, our daily prayer life, work ethics, and quiet acts of kindness are not overlooked. They are the training grounds shaping us for the assignments God has prepared. Charles Spurgeon wisely said, He who is faithful in the pennies will be trusted with the pounds. When we complain about the size of our current responsibilities or feel unnoticed, we reveal a shallow understanding of how God shapes character. True faithfulness shows in what we do when no one is watching, and in how we treat people, manage our time, and serve without recognition. Many of us desire the many things, but neglect to be faithful in the few things. Yet God is not impressed by charisma. He is moved by our character. So if our efforts seem unseen or our ministry feels small, remember this: God sees, and in his perfect timing, He will reward our faithfulness by expanding our influence and entrusting us with more. This parable is also a lesson in accountability. In verse 19, we see the revelation. After a long time, the Lord of those servants cometh and reckoneth with them. This moment of reckoning points to the return of Jesus. When he comes, the judgment will be thorough, addressing not only our obvious sins, but also the opportunities we ignored. The Apostle Paul in 2 Corinthians 5 verse 10 wrote, "For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ." This is not meant to frighten us, but to awaken us that Jesus is coming back, and though his return may seem delayed, it is certain. And when he comes, each of us, like the servant who buried his talent, will stand before him to give an account for the gifts left unused, the words we should have spoken, and love we withheld when it was most needed. Yet, this same moment of reckoning will also bring unexpected joy and reward to those who lived faithfully. What was done in faith, often unnoticed by others, will be honored openly by God. Every day we make countless choices, some major, some minor. But when we begin to filter our decisions through the lens of eternity, everything changes. Our priorities shift from asking what benefits me most to what pleases God most. A day is coming when our motives, our actions, and even those idle moments we assumed were insignificant will be placed on heaven's scale. And when our life is weighed in God's balance, what will the verdict be? Well done or wasted? Will the gifts, time, and opportunities God entrusted to us be returned with increase, or will they be buried, unused, and forgotten? Remember this: God does not measure success by how much we possess, but by how faithfully we steward what we have been given. You may not be called to reach millions, but you are called to reach someone. You may never preach a sermon, but you can live one every day. Paul encourages us in 1 Corinthians 15 verse 58. "Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord." Again, your obedience today influences your forever, and nothing you do for God, no matter how small, will ever be wasted. God bless you.